The first thing that broke him was not the sight of the grave, but the silence around it. On a gray morning that felt heavier than the stone beneath his feet, a single father stood before his own father's grave, carrying years of grief, unanswered questions, and the weight of raising a child alone. Just as he thought this visit would be like every other, quiet, lonely, and unfinished, a mysterious woman appeared beside the headstone, and with her presence, everything he believed about his past began to unravel. Before the story goes any further, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the quiet miracles that can change a life, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these stories reach hearts that need them most. He had not planned to stay long. Life rarely allowed him extra time anymore. Between long shifts, school runs, and sleepless nights listening for his son's breathing, moments like this were stolen, not given. The cemetery sat on the edge of town, lined with old trees that whispered with the wind, their leaves brushing against memories he tried hard not to revisit. His father had been buried there 7 years ago, taken suddenly by illness, leaving behind debts, regrets, and a son who never got the chance to say goodbye properly. Becoming a single dad shortly after had forced him to grow up fast, burying his grief beneath responsibility. He knelt, brushing dirt from the cold stone, reading the familiar name carved into it. His father had been a complicated man, stern, distant, yet quietly protective in ways he only understood now. As a child, he had mistaken silence for indifference. As a man, he recognized it as fear, pride, and unspoken love. He came here whenever life felt too heavy, hoping the ground might absorb some of his burden. That morning, however, the air shifted, as if the past itself had decided to step forward. She stood a few steps away, her presence impossible to ignore. She was not dressed for mourning in the traditional sense, yet there was a solemn dignity about her. Her eyes lingered on the grave with a depth that suggested familiarity, not curiosity. He felt an unexpected tension, the kind that crawled up the spine when something important is about to happen. People rarely visited this grave. Even fewer strangers did. For a moment, he wondered if she had made a mistake, if she was searching for another name. But she did not move. She did not look lost. She looked like someone standing before a truth she had carried for years. His life until that moment had been defined by survival. Every day was about making sure his son felt safe, loved, and protected from the fractures of a broken home. He worked until exhaustion, smiled through pain, and told himself that love was enough, even when money was tight and loneliness crept in at night. He had learned to live with unanswered questions, especially those about his father's past. The men had died with secrets, and over time, those secrets became scars he stopped touching. The woman's presence forced those scars open. Without a word spoken, the air between them grew heavy with meaning. Her face held a quiet sadness, but also resolve, as if she had rehearsed this moment countless times. She looked at him then, not with pity, not with judgment, but with recognition. It was unsettling, like being seen by someone who knew parts of you that even you had forgotten. As she slowly reached into her bag, his chest tightened. She pulled out an old envelope, worn at the edges, the paper yellowed with age. His father's handwriting was unmistakable, etched across the front like a ghost from another life. Seeing it felt like losing his breath all over again. His hands trembled as the woman held it out, her expression steady, almost relieved. The truth unfolded not in dramatic words, but in the weight of what the letter represented. It revealed a past his father had hidden to protect him, a sacrifice made quietly, without expectation of forgiveness. Years ago, his father had stepped in to save someone else's life, a choice that cost him everything, his health, his stability, and ultimately his future. The woman was connected to that moment, bound to his father by an act of selflessness that had gone unnoticed and unrewarded. As he absorbed the revelation, memories rearranged themselves. His father's long nights, his sudden illness, the financial struggles that followed, they were no longer random misfortunes. They were consequences of a decision rooted in compassion. The men he had once resented for emotional distance suddenly appeared braver than he had ever imagined. The woman explained, through tears she no longer tried to hide, how she had searched for years, driven by gratitude and guilt, determined to honor the men who had changed her life. Standing there, the single father felt something crack open inside him. The anger he had carried dissolved into something warmer, something closer to understanding. His father had not been distant. He had been enduring. He had carried pain in silence so his son would not have to. And now, years too late, that truth found him through a stranger at a grave. The days that followed were marked by reflection. He returned home changed, holding the letter like a fragile piece of himself. When he looked at his son sleeping that night, he saw his father's legacy not as a burden, but as a guide. Love, he realized, was not always loud. Sometimes it was the quiet choice to suffer so someone else could live freely. That realization reshaped how he viewed his own struggles as a single parent. Every sacrifice suddenly felt meaningful. The mysterious woman did not disappear from his life after that day. She became a reminder that goodness ripples outward in ways we may never witness. Through her, opportunities began to open, support he never expected, help that arrived without strings attached. It was not charity, it was the universe finally paying back a debt long overdue. His life did not transform overnight, but it shifted, slowly and steadily, toward hope. He started allowing himself to dream again. Not big, unrealistic dreams, but simple ones: stability, peace, a future where his son would know the full story of the grandfather who loved him fiercely in his own quiet way. The cemetery no longer felt like a place of loss. It became a place of truth, where pain and love coexisted, and where healing began. Just before the ending, we have a special request for you. Please comment below and share what this story made you feel, or whether you believe that hidden sacrifices always find their way back to the light. Near the end of his journey, standing once more by the grave, he felt gratitude instead of sorrow. He thanked his father not for what he had given him materially, but for the example he left behind. The mysterious woman had not only revealed a secret, she had returned a legacy. A legacy of kindness, courage, and silent love that would now live on through him and his child. If this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that even unseen sacrifices matter, please like this video, leave a heartfelt comment, and share it with someone who needs to believe that life can change in a single unexpected moment. Sometimes, the past does not come back to haunt us, it comes back to heal us forever.